Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod, and I am your host, Lester Class. Each and every episode is going to be filled with amazing stories from amazing people. You will hear the different journeys people went through, or are still going through, to be able to do what they love. From the failures to the successes and everything in between. This is a place to get to know the person behind their passion, because people only get to see the successes and not what it took to get there. If this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe and leave a review if you love the content. Now finally, I would love to welcome you to the Community Pod. What's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod. I'm your host, Lester Class, and I have an amazing guest in the building. I have Amanii Sun in the building. How are you, Amanii?
Good.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, first off, Amanii is a R&B and soul musician, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get into R&B and soul?
Well, I don't know. I don't even really like to generalize myself. I would say that most people would think I'm R&B because, that's just general.
Okay.
So that's what I say. I say that I'm an R&B artist, but
Okay.
I also feel like I also have some alternative influence as well.
Okay.
And then I have some jazz influence as well. So I'm still trying to find my sound and what I do.
Okay. And was music implemented in your life from a very young age?
Yeah, my dad, he played music all the time and in the car. So I just was always listening to music, and then he put me in drum lessons, and then and then I started to be in like a jazz band at school, and then I started to sing in a choir also at school. So I guess it's just been following me.
Okay. And so when it comes to the genres of music that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it always did you have this sound throughout the entire time you've been making music?
Yeah, I guess so. I would say that my sound has always been like a chill kind of sound. It has, I guess so. But also my sound has been changing too because, of course, I'm growing as a person. I'm finding new ways to express myself in that way. So it's been changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything you do like as of right now other than music?
Yeah, I mean, I do a whole bunch of things, but I feel like I'm just a creative being, so I try to implement that.
Yeah.
So I do photos, videos. I like to paint too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so you said that you paint. What pictures do you like to paint?
More so abstract things.
Okay.
Things that it's interesting to see and interesting to kind of just observe, not so much understand.
Okay. And so music, you said that was implemented at a young age, was creativity, because I know that everything with music has a lot to do with creativity as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was creativity embraced as well?
I don't know, because my family is very business-like, very business-oriented. So I mean, not so much, because I had to kind of just find that creativity in myself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't so much implemented on my outside, in my outside environments.
Yeah.
Until I started to put myself in those communities.
Okay.
So.
And so you said that music itself was implemented at a young age, but you started, correct me if I'm wrong, but you started music a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything before then that was kind of holding you back from making music, or it was just not the right time for you?
So when I was a kid, I would actually write songs. I had a guitar. I would play it, but I never really thought, you can do music. We can actually do this instead of just writing about it.
Yeah.
So I really just, as I said, I had to put myself in those communities and kind of just see that it could be done, and it could happen for you.
Yeah.
You could do things that you didn't think you could do at some point, because you're around it now. You see that, it's not hard.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
22.
22. Okay.
Yeah.
So you started music, you said 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 years ago,
Mhm.
you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were just coming out of high school.
Yeah.
Was there any fear in school, like, that you were gonna be like, kind of, like something stopping you in school because of the people that were in it, and you felt like something was gonna happen, whether people were talking, shit about you, or
In high
kind
school?
of, yeah, in high school, or was it like
Um,
a lot of supportive people in high school?
I mean, yeah, I had some support in high school, but I also didn't know anybody who made music in high school.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Um, I really was just open to this whole music community and how, you can go to the studio and you can
Mhm.
actually, like record your own music and like you can also make beats, make tracks. I didn't know that. I had no idea until I went to college and then I, you know, saw people at a different level of life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so what's your favorite thing about making music?
I like to be able to express myself, like,
Okay.
because sometimes you don't really have to always speak, and sometimes it's really good to speak, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's really good to talk about how you feel and talk about how you feel in this moment. So I like how music can allow me to do that without feeling like I'm wrong in
Mhm.
a sense,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
It,
music is like your own kind of person, your own
mhm.
being.
Yeah, yeah. I always describe music as a form of art because, like you said, you can express yourself in any way, just the same way you used to. I don't know if you still paint, but that you're creating artwork, but without the paintbrush, you're using your vocal cords, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is awesome. I know that we're gonna talk about Love Languages, your EP
Hmm.
that came out recently. Uh, but I want to save that for a little later because I feel like there's stories behind these songs. There's a story behind your EP,
Yeah.
and there's a person who was created before you made that creation, right?
Hmm.
So what made you who you are today?
Um, it's a loaded question.
Mhm.
I mean, my family. People that I've grown to be kind of my person because of my childhood, what I've been through, and I went to boarding school when I was 12 years old. So like, I had to kind of separate from my family at some point, and I guess that kind of made me who I am today because like I'm trying to find myself again.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by like you're trying to find yourself?
Like I honestly feel like my my whole self and childhood was kind of like taken from me when I went to boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah, cuz like I had to kind of like in a sense, take care of myself, and I was only 12 years old, so I had no idea like how to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And so how did you end? So if you don't mind me asking, how did you end up at boarding school?
So my dad went to boarding school
Okay.
when he was a young kid, so he wanted me to have the same experience as him. So that's kind of why he sent when me or took me to boarding school, and yeah.
How would you describe what life is? As I know you said you were
Mm,
very young.
yeah.
Um, how would you describe life in boarding school?
Well, I mean, I went to boarding school from 12 years old all the way from 18. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
So you were basically at your whole
teenage
teenage
years.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that like?
It was a lot of, it was a lot of, I don't know. I feel like I kind of like ran away from
Okay.
life in a way, in a sense, and I don't really like that because, boarding school was nice. I'm not gonna, like, I totally appreciate the experiences,
Mhm.
but it's also like I had to kind of,
grow up quickly.
Yeah.
So, like, because I myself, like,
Hmm.
I've never, not that I've never heard of boarding school, but I've never known anyone who's went to boarding school. So, to somebody who's never been,
Hmm.
to the people, who have no clue what boarding school is like, how would
Yeah.
you describe it in a few words, or
Um,
your
it's
just experience
it's
there?
sort of like living with people around the same age as you, um, every day, 24/7, and it's kind of like, where's the family? You know?
So, to a point, you missed home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. Cause it's like I'm around all my friends all the time, cool. But it's like, do you care about me?
Yeah.
Like, do you love me? So
So it's a point in your life that you look back and so you appreciate, but at the same time,
yeah,
you wish you could get those years back to be
yeah.
able to be with your family.
I appreciate the people that I've met, but I also wish that I could have just been a kid, like
Yeah.
been with my family.
Mhm.
Cause I love family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're about to make me cry. Because to me,
Sorry.
family is really important, and to be, and I feel for you just because I don't know how long, like you said that's a long time,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
to not be around the people that you love the most, it has to, take a toll on you.
Yeah. And it's like, since I also went to college too, so I mean, I guess you could consider that as boarding school. So I
Mhm.
kind of like for 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to boarding school, like
Hmm.
how often are like how often did you get to see your family during boarding school?
So all right. So my first boarding school when I was 12, I went to a school in Vermont.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 5 hours. Yeah. So I only saw my family like during holidays, and so yeah. And then high school I saw them more frequently because it was in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, so I saw them a little bit more frequently, but not enough because at that point I'm like, it's a routine.
Mhm.
I'm at school.
So
Mm,
if you don't mind me asking,
yeah.
if you had the decision to take your future children to boarding school, would you?
Mm.
No.
No, because it's like I want to learn who you are. I can't learn who you are if you're far away from me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I understand that,
yeah.
and to put that on top, where like you went to college as well, which
Mm.
is alone a lot. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because the work is very different. I don't know how the work is in boarding school.
Mhm.
Okay, better yet,
But
did boarding school prepare you for college? Because I don't feel like high school prepared me. Public high school prepared me for college. So do you think boarding school prepared you for that?
in a sense, only because I was already away from everything that I kind of knew as a kid.
Yeah.
So in a sense, but also it's like when you're in college, you have all this free time.
Mhm.
When you're in boarding school in like young ages, they're really like hawks on you. Like they want to make sure you're okay because you are their responsibility.
Mhm.
So in a sense, yes, but also in a sense, no, because I was actually put into the real world. Like there was like thousands of students in college. So I
Yeah.
feel like public schools kind of understood how to be around like larger groups of people.
Yeah. Okay. And so what would you at 12 years old and
Mm.
like growing up inside, in boarding school, like what what is the living situation when like is how long do you have classes and how long do you have just I guess sitting in your room? I don't
Mm.
feel like a 12-year-old's doing much outside. Maybe there's activities, I have no clue.
Yeah. No, well, we went to school from 9 to 3.
Okay.
Kind of like the same for public schools. And then we had like after school curriculum
Okay.
to kind of just keep us busy during free time because they wanted us to always be doing something. So
Yeah.
if that be sports, that be environmental things, like you could work outside and take care of the plants and stuff like that. Like it was just
Yeah.
for that hour, and then we had dinner, and then we had like study hall sort
Mhm.
of. So it's kind of just like a a non-going or never-ending routine schedule that's just repeating itself.
So what was it like going from boarding school into college
Yeah.
when those lives completely changed? Because there are no in boarding school. Like from what I'm hearing, is that there's
Mhm.
boundaries. There's not
Mhm.
much you can do.
Mhm.
Now that there's college, there's basically it's a routine, but at the same
Yes.
time you have no boundaries. You do as you want.
Yes.
So
It
what
was.
was?
It was like. It was like a baby getting candy for the first time.
Okay.
Almost. You know, it's like I have all of this. I have something new. Actually, something like, something that it's a lot of pressure. Only because it's like I don't have a routine anymore. I kind of have to follow the same routine I had,
Yeah.
and you're not really gonna do that when you don't have to.
Mhm.
So you kind of have to make yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I don't. Do you feel like boarding school kind of like
Hmm.
took had either an influence in your creativity or took away from it a little bit?
I think it kind of took away from it
Okay.
because um I wasn't able to kind of like find myself. I had to find myself in a different environment, and I had
Okay.
to like grow into that environment when I should have just been growing into myself
Yeah.
first. Because home is home,
Mhm.
and that's all you're gonna really know until you leave it.
Yeah.
And then when you leave it so early, it's like, dang,
Mhm.
I don't know what to do. But then you have to figure it out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel
yeah.
like im- is it difficult for you to call a place home
Mm.
because boarding school was your home for a very long time, and now you're back in what you kind of wished was home the entire time
Mhm.
with your family.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a point where it's just like I feel like you miss it? I feel like you could go back in time and just be like, hey, I don't want to go here. I want to be with you guys.
I wish I could do that, yes,
Mhm.
just to see, how I'd be different in a way.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely, I see that it's kind of hard to be back into this routine, this environment that I was in when I was in such a young age,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like I'm kind of trying to understand that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Um.
hmm.
Aside from boarding school and everything,
Yeah.
what was trying to doing music, while you were in college?
It was interesting because I had to understand it. I had to like
Okay.
understand that it's not just like if I want to actually do music and I want to actually like not just make music but I want to actually do it,
Mhm.
it's more of like a business, a network. You have to like, so I have to understand that music is a business,
Mhm.
and I like just off just creating a song in general, that's a business because you have to find a producer, and then you have to talk about the money exchange and talk about, and it was hard for me to understand that only because I didn't know about this whole music community. I
Mhm.
didn't know anything about it. So in college, I just met a lot of musicians and I met a lot of producers my
Okay.
age who kind of showed me what it is. And yeah,
Okay.
it was interesting because I actually I didn't have like a studio that I would go to during
Mhm.
college. I would just um on my phone I would just make music.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was also in a dorm, so it was like really, you know,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, I was with a lot of people, so it was really hard for me to even do that most
Mhm.
times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So,
Hmm.
getting into the music scene
Yeah.
and meeting these new people, did this kind of bring something that you didn't know out of you?
Um.
Whether it was like confidence or the ability to be like, I'm proud of what I'm making.
Yeah, because I meet a lot of people, like a lot of artists who have different opinions about their own music and opinions about music in general.
Okay.
So, definitely it was interesting to kind of find find a find my own unique sound too. It was really like I love to be an artist because I can take what I love to hear
Yeah.
and put it in music, and it's cool to see that people respond to it in a good way.
Okay. So when it comes to the music scene, is
Mhm.
there more? Because I feel like I get the same answer every time from
What?
every artist,
Mm-hmm.
that there's not so much love in New Jersey as there is in New York, because I've had artists in New Jersey or people in New Jersey who are trying to come and like make it out, and they're from Jersey, but all the love and the exposure is in New York. How do you feel?
Mm, I don't know. I wouldn't say that, only because I feel like Jersey's music scene is there's so many artists who will actually appreciate you
Mhm.
and not really see you as, as a business, not really see you as somebody who's just making music. They actually appreciate you, and I feel like in New York, people appreciate your music more than who you are.
Okay.
I feel like Jersey is kind of like a family.
Okay.
So
So you
what?
you must have had a better experience than the people
I
spoken
guess
to in New
so.
Jersey. So
I guess so.
the one I wanted to go back on, because I've been thinking about it and I wanted to ask it the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
What was it like telling your parents that you wanted to do music?
Mm. So, it wasn't too hard, only because I always did music ever since a kid, ever since a young age. Was always singing around the house, and my dad put me in lessons. So I mean, like, they kind of understood that this was my like lifestyle now, because at school, like at my boarding school, I was in a choir and I was in a band, and they saw that, they saw videos. So I guess they kind of just understood that it was coming along with me and growing in a different way, growing in a different light.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I feel like creativity, especially in a household that
Mhm.
you described as
Yeah.
business oriented,
Mhm.
that creativity can sometimes be either dimmed or
Yes.
not embraced.
I mean, there's always two sides to a coin.
Mhm.
Like, where there is support, there's also gonna be like, that maybe not. Maybe we can do something else. But it's also like, your family's always gonna try and support you in everything you do. I would hope, or so
Okay. And
yeah.
so getting back into the music scene, so you've done performances before. What was
Yeah.
it like at your first one?
My first one. Yeah, I remember my first one. It was actually during 2020, November 2020.
Okay.
It was for like Pass the Mic uh event. It was
Okay.
like, I think that was her first one. And it was interesting because I never really, like, I always performed in front of people,
Mhm.
but it wasn't my music.
Okay.
So to see how people take my music, it kind of made me understand my whole reason for being an artist is to kind of bring people together. That's what music does, because at the end of the day, we all kind of experience music in the same light. We all
Mhm.
bob our head to the same beat, and so it's interesting to see everybody get together when they listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you nervous to take them to perform?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I'm more nervous now, only because I'm an artist, and artists have to be seen as somebody who is I don't know the word, like, people who are kind of understand their position
Mhm.
and kind of have to like entertain people, and I just feel like I have to talk all the time when I'm on stage, but I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Um, and to you, is it important to connect with your audience?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they hear my music, but they don't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand who I am or what I do
Yeah.
on a day to day.
Yeah.
You know.
So is that's the whole point of the podcast, so
Yeah.
they can hear you and not hear the vocals in every single one of your songs.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, I'm enjoying Gift right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to it actually before you got here. I was a little surprised, but um, not about how good the music was, more that it just happened to be that I was listening to Gift as you showed up. But yeah, so I enjoyed the song, but like I said, we're gonna get into the album, well, the EP in a little bit. So, let me see what question I want to ask. What are some obstacles you've had to get past in order to be the artist you are now? Whether that's mental or physical.
Mm, definitely mental, because I still am trying to just understand how to say certain things and understand how to say certain or express certain emotions that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of difficult, only because if your mental isn't right, then everything following you is not going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
If what you're thinking and how you're processing life is not good, then I feel like you have to work. You have to really work on. It's going to be so much harder to kind of express yourself, because you have no idea if your mind isn't. If I don't know how to explain.
No, it's okay. Listen, I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Because if you aren't in the right headspace and trying to do something creative or do something you love, it's not gonna come out the way you want it to.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What? So now that you spoke about the mental obstacle, which is what you said that was one of your difficult ones.
Yeah.
Was there anything stopping you when it came to putting out your music?
I actually feel like I put out my music too fast.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand, like, once I start, I gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of people forget when, people will only take you serious to see how consistent you're gonna be.
Right.
Because you could put out a song and be like, wow, I did great, but I don't have anything else in the vault, so you guys are going to be waiting a very long time to hear anything else.
Exactly.
And then that's when the decline starts to happen.
Yes.
So that's why when I started doing this, I had to make sure that I had things, in the vault before I started, because if not, then I'd be slacking and then I'd be demotivated. I don't even know if I'm using the right word, unmotivated, and to keep going, because it's a lot of pressure, because there's people watching and you want to continue to put out great music for them. So do you feel that pressure sometimes? So like you said, that you feel like you rushed into it too quickly, but when you did that, it was like, all right, I have to get on top of this.
Yeah, absolutely, because I feel like, so I released one song the whole year of last year, and everybody was like, what's happening, what's going on, and I was just taking a break, because that was when I was, graduating college, and like I wanted to just do that before I started to really get into music. But it's like, if I don't do it right now, then a year from now it's gonna be like, we gotta start over in a sense.
Okay.
So if I don't keep going, you gotta kind of just, if you're not consistent with something, you're always gonna be at level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you being the artist that you are and loving what you do, who is somebody you see in the future that you would love to work with one day?
I want to work with Smino.
Okay, I have no clue what that is.
You don't know?
Wait, I didn't hear you.
Smino.
Smino? No, I don't.
SINO? SMINO.
That's R&B?
He's like a rapper almost, but he also does R&B, yeah.
Okay.
You gotta listen to it.
I gotta listen. Okay,
You
I'll
have
listen to it after this.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Who? Anybody else?
Yeah, I wanna work with Pharrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I know who.
For sure.
Yeah. Pharrell's a great. I think he's a great creative. I know that he just got Oh my God, I could be wrong, but I think he just got hired as a creative director for Louis Vuitton.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's. I think he's an amazing creative. Honestly,
Mhm.
he's a great creative, and I
Nice.
think he makes great music. So
Mm.
other than that,
Mhm.
is there anything that you want to branch out into when it comes to music? Because the one I like, I don't. I say it just because I enjoy it. I love
Mhm.
reggae, and I think R&B
Yeah.
and reggae do great together.
Mhm.
Would you ever want to not make your own reggae music, but like maybe collaborate with a reggae artist?
Yes. 100%. My family is from Barbados, so
Okay, nice.
yeah. So 100%. And I wanna do a couple reggae songs, and I wanna just meet more people who
Mhm.
make that type of music. But I haven't yet, and I know I will.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going. You'll keep
Yeah.
meeting people.
Yeah.
I gotta say, even though have you been in the New York scene by any chance?
Yeah.
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 I think the New York scene is great to meet like a lot of creatives. I
Mhm.
think it's a great place to network. That's where I'm networking now.
Mhm.
Shout out David. He's helping me out a lot. One of my friends who is helping me branch out in New York because I don't know the New York scene like that.
Mhm.
But I think it's a great place to network if you're looking to find people that you haven't found already.
Mhm.
One person I have to shout out because I think you and him would do a great job. His name is Groovy. I had him on the podcast. If you want to
Really?
watch it, if you haven't already, he just released a song called Jersey Love. Amazing song. And I think that your two sounds
Mhm.
would do a really good song together, honestly. So, if anything, I'll talk to him later. I'll send you his information or whatever. But yeah. So, what is
Mhm.
what is something that well, what's the goal with music? What's your goal?
Um, I want to just continue to make it. I want to just develop myself, and I know that once I do develop my sound and develop myself as an artist, my purpose will come
Mhm.
along with that. The reason why I'm doing this in the first place will be seen to light, will be put into light, and I kind of just want more people to listen to it.
Okay.
That's really my goal. Um, I want to heal people through my music, because I feel like music is just a very healing. I feel like it's a medicine.
Mhm.
It's very spiritual. So I want to be able to heal people through it.
Do you feel like music heals you, your own music?
Yeah, only because it's like, when people are sad or when people are angry or when people feel any emotion, they click on a song that
Mhm.
they like to listen to, and it kind of takes them out of that headspace that they were once in.
Mhm.
And so I do think that it heals, and it definitely heals me because, you know, whenever anything's going on, I just click on a song that I enjoy to listen to, and just.
What's your favorite song that you've made, even if it's unreleased? But something that what's your favorite song that you've made?
Um, That's a good question. I would say for right now, it's unreleased. It's gonna be released soon. But I would say that it's called Trophy Girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite song so far.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you have a significant other
Mhm.
early on. Well, I believe we spoke about it off camera. But so how important to you? Well, what does her support with your music mean to you?
Um, so when I actually first met her, she told me that she didn't really even listen to music. She didn't enjoy music. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Like that's a bold statement because I think everybody listens to
I
music.
never heard that before. So I was like, okay, interesting. And then so we just kind of like, whatever we like we both kind of try and understand that and kind
Yeah.
of like put ourselves in that same position. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's what she did with me, because whenever we're in the car I'm just always listening to music. So I feel like she kind of just grew to appreciate the community.
Okay.
And like she sees that I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, so I feel like whatever you're passionate about, like the love is gonna come. And I feel like she sees that I'm very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And what does that mean to you to have somebody by your side and that is like, hey Amani, keep going.
yeah, I mean, it's like it makes me want to return that same feeling,
Mm-hmm.
because not everybody does receive that support,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to support her as she supports me, knows that she's appreciated as much as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, that's great though.
yeah,
And it's always good. I feel like it's always good to have somebody by your side who's in it as much as you are, because if you feel like the person that's with you, especially your significant other,
mhm,
and it just feels like they're kind of dragging you down, or like
true,
they don't believe in the dream, it can really like diminish what you have going on inside, and it can really hurt you mentally, because it's like, this is my dream, why can't you love me for my dream and love my dream too? You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it's great that you have somebody that loves your dream um as much as you love it. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So when it comes to support,
mhm,
right, other than family, other than friends,
mhm.
what's it like getting support from people you don't even know?
um It's interesting because sometimes those people that I don't even know will support you more than the people that known you for your whole life. So it's really interesting to see that people who have no idea who you are, what makes you who you are, support you and support you like wholeheartedly, so
Mhm.
genuinely, like they actually appreciate you
Yeah.
and your artistic, creation. And I feel like it's an interesting feeling, because it's like, if I can make you feel this way, what can I do when I'm like 100% in my bag, when I'm
Mhm.
100% doing what I'm supposed to be doing in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're gonna get into your EP.
Mhm.
What's the story? How did it happen?
So it was kind of like I was trying to understand love, because it was like love is so universal, you know
Mhm.
and I know that's so generic to say, but it's so true. Like, everybody has felt like love in a way, like if it's like a tangible thing you can hold, or if it's a person, or if it's even just starting from you,
Mhm.
like everyone's kind of felt it. So I would kind of just wanted to see what um everybody's, like, love languages is
Mhm.
like, everybody, it's like a generic way to kind of express love, because everybody's kind of felt love
Yeah.
love languages.
Mhm.
Everybody's felt the love languages, like, from just like quality time, just from starting there, like everybody's felt like being around just your own person. You spend quality time with yourself every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's kind of just interesting to put those 5 languages in a song.
Yeah. 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 I
Yep.
thought it was cool too. Hey, what's your favorite song on the album? I mean, on the EP.
Mm. Mm. Time with you. I like time with you.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my first song I released. It was only because like I really did appreciate that song, so I
Mhm.
kind of wanted it to be something that I gave away before I gave the project away.
Okay.
Before I released the project, I wanted them to kind of like
Get a taste.
of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I like Moonshine.
Moonshine.
Yeah, and then Gifts. Gifts is cool too. I like Gifts.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
like like it's like different from all the other
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, yeah. The beats like
Mhm.
it's a little bit more like I guess like upbeat a little
Upbeat,
bit. Yeah.
groovy, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um so what is to the people that don't know about your EP, right?
Mhm.
And that are listening right now, um what would you say to them, and like how would you advise them to listen to it?
I would say to kind of take it take it with a grain of salt, because like I would also say to take your time with it because, I want them to appreciate it in its full capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, it won't reach everybody the same way. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that because at the end of the day it's music and not everybody is going to appreciate it the same way. We all hear it, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't, you know, understand it the same way.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening to it, I just want you to understand that, this is just one thing that I do and one thing that I can do, and there's so many other kind of like subgenres. Some genres I want to branch into.
Okay. Well, we're coming to an end. I wanted to give you my last question. It's a very loaded question, but it's really gonna. I want you to express what you feel towards yourself. So, the question that is gonna end it all off is, who is Amanii Sun?
Amanii Sun, it means peace to sun. It means peace to everyone. Peace to everyone under the sun. I
Yeah.
want to bring peace, and that's what I want to do with my music. Heal and just calm people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are coming to an end. This
Alright.
is it. It was great having you on.
Thank you.
I'm gonna just end it off here, right? Okay. But before I do, the camera is all yours. You could give advice. You can express how you feel. You can let them know anything you got going on. So the camera is yours.
Okay. I just want to remind everybody that, we are love, and we got to be patient with ourselves and with everybody around us because we're really all we have at the end of it. Like, the people around us is really who's going to take care of you and who's going to love you. And, you got to, if you want to receive love, you got to give it back. You got to just be that for yourself and be that for other people first. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, this is the community pod. Amanii Love. Well, no, Amanii Love. Amanii Sun. You said
Amanii
love a lot. You
Love.
said
I
love.
like that.
Amanii Sun. It was great having you. But this is the community pod. I'm your host, Lester Class. If you listen to the whole thing, I want to say I appreciate everybody who's listening. Please leave a review if you're watching on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anything like that. Any listening platforms. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you end up seeing my Instagram, I appreciate everything that you guys are showing because you guys show a lot of love. So I appreciate it. And yeah, if you're new here, last but not least, welcome to the community pod. But this is Lester Class, Amanii Sun, and we're out. Peace.